I know.
Gavel?
Yeah. We ready? Well, I'd like to welcome everyone to the June 8th, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. And if everyone would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my left is Vice President Gary Merrill. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis. Cy Killey is standing in for Farzan Ahmed today. He's the Assistant Administrator. And we have clerk today is Sarah Danova. So let's start.
Resolution number 17-583, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held June 5th, 2017.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 17-583. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public or elected comment today, but we do have Steve Hedges here from the Board of Mental Health and Recovery Services.
Good morning, Commissioners. Appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I'm here today with a special guest, and I'd like to introduce her in just a second, but I want to thank you again for the opportunity to be here. There's always a time in your career that you need to move on, and that time is for me. The time is to pass the torch to a new director, and her name is Deanna Brandt. We're excited about Deanna being here. She brings a wealth of experience and background in the community mental health and addiction services, and she's already hit the ground running. She's been in several meetings already. She's been here a week. This is a week anniversary. She's learned more in a week than I learned in 5 years, so she's a quick study. She knows her
You're a
stuff.
great teacher or something.
What's that?
You say you're a great teacher. She learned so much in a week.
Well, she can answer that question, Commissioner. I can answer it. So we're excited. The board's excited about her being here. But again, it's the time for me to pass the torch to Deanna. I know she wants to say a few words, and then I can conclude. Thank you.
Great.
Thanks for having me. And I will tell you, one of the things I've learned in my 25 years in Northeast Ohio is to keep it short. So I will keep it short. And I will tell you, I spent, as I said, many years in Northeast Ohio. I'm so happy to leave behind this life-altering phenomena called lake effects now. And I relocated to Bexley and decided pretty quickly, it took me 2 days to figure out I didn't want to commute from Bexley. So I actually am signing a lease tomorrow for a place right here in Delaware, and really looking forward to being part of this organization and this community. So thank you for having me. I'm sure I will be in touch with each of you at some point. So thank you.
What I want to do personally is to thank you as commissioners for your leadership. I've been in this position 21 years. And I've had the opportunity to work with commissioners, and you are a great group of folks to work with. Your leadership is unbelievable as far as this community. It's a great place to live, work, and play. It shows, and that's why Delaware County is held up in esteem all across the state of Ohio. Before I came here, I worked in almost every county in the state of Ohio. And I can tell you Delaware County is number one in many, many, many things. And it's clearly in my heart of having the opportunity, the honor of working in this system. I feel we're in good hands with Deanna coming on. We have a great board of directors. Apparently you're going to give us another new board director, who I would know personally. He's going to be a great member if I understand the selection. So I think we're in good stead. Obviously, I think our system is meeting the challenges, and obviously our mission is to serve those with mental illness and substance use issues. So I think with your help, your leadership, I think we can do that. I know commissioners, each one of you is committed to working with this population because they impact all the things in the lives here in the citizens of this county. Also, I want to thank the unsung heroes that work for this county. I'll start with Cy and Farzan and Jane and Don. All those folks do a great job for you, but the people that work within their operation. I've had the opportunity to work with so many people in this organization. It's unbelievable. It's a well-oiled machine. They do a great job. They're committed, and they have a smile on their face. I don't think I've come to any meeting or any office in this operation that there isn't a smile on their face. and they're willing to help you. And that's what I think, there's a credit to you as leaders and them as positions. So I want to thank everyone within this county operation, all the elected officials, the appointed officials, and the people who work for this community. It is a great place to live, work, and play. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Comments?
Boy,
Yeah.
Steve,
21 years.
gee.
That's quite a
I survived.
yeah, exactly, quite a record of success. I know the board has done such great work over that time period, and again, due to your leadership, yeah, we welcome you. It'll be great to work with you in the future, and the whole board, and what you do in the community is so very important. I mean, it really is. And we have our challenges, as we all know. There's a rise of particularly opiate addiction issues, so we need to work on that, and I know we are. We're addressing it, so that's great. But again, thank you so much.
I just I had the privilege of also being on Rotary with Steve, and in fact, he brought Deanna to Rotary this week, and I don't know if you're planning on joining Rotary or not, but hopefully you're entertaining that idea. And I've had the privilege of knowing Steve for the last 5-6 years, and he's been a very, very big proponent of the services he's rendering and supporting those people in need, and we've been well represented, and I'm sure the board has made a great choice in your selection, and I look forward to having the same kind of relationship that I've enjoyed with Steve, a person I have a great deal of respect for. And it is a great county to live in. It is a great county to work in and be part of, but it's what we make of it. And every one of us in this room and throughout this county take that very seriously, and so welcome to Delaware County.
And I'd just like to recognize you, Steve, too, for the great work that you've done. I've had the pleasure of working with you through, in particular, the Stepping Up program, and you're always there in the many meetings that were held, and always a wonderful advocate with a stellar reputation. Whenever I'd mention, too, oh, Steve Hedges from, they go, I know him, you know, and spoke so highly of you. And Deanna, I welcome you too. I had the opportunity to meet you at Unity House the other day, and appreciate that, and I know you really love Delaware County too. So thank you, Steve, though, for your service.
Yeah, Steve, I guess I would agree. Delaware County is a great place to live, work, and play, but you didn't quite finish that sentence. It's live, work, and play golf.
That's what I meant.
Okay. So, well, thank you all again. And Deanna, welcome. And we'll move on.
Resolution number 17-584, in the matter of approving a member to the Delaware Morrow County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board.
So move. Oh.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Communications Manager, and I would just like to add my congratulations to Steve, but I'm also very happy because now I get to recruit him for other boards in the county. Now that he's a citizen, almost there.
You have to look for him on the golf course.
So, before you, we have an appointment resolution for Joseph Gigliotti to join the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, and we recommend your approval. He certainly seems to be an extremely well-qualified person and would bring a lot to the board.
Yeah, lots of experience, very relevant experience, many years in leadership positions across the state,
Yes.
very well established, and a lot of relationships. So, yeah, very, very qualified candidate. All right.
Fortunate to be able to approve this.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-584. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Resolution number 17-585, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch CMA PR 0607.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-585. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill? Mrs. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-586, in the matter of authorizing the use of a procurement card for the Recorder's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Hi, Melissa Jordan, Delaware County Recorder. I don't have anything to add on the procurement card, but I'm here for questions on the second item on the agenda.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-586. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-587, in the matter of approving the master agreement and addendums for the products and services with COT Systems Incorporated to provide software and services related to historical index load, redaction, and preservation of paper records and the backfilling of documents for the Delaware County Recorder's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I'm here, well, I was here for a supplemental appropriation about a month ago, and I think we explained, and you guys had great questions about what the project entails, but I'm available for any other questions that you might have that have arisen since then.
Has this come in with where you expected in terms of cost?
It's actually below where I
It came
thought it
in a
would be.
little lower.
Yeah, it's where we projected and presented to you for the supplemental appropriation, but it's lower than I thought it would be for the amount of stuff that we're trying to accomplish with it, so.
And this is the records prior to 1990, if I recall. isn't
So
it?
it's, yes, there is kind of a bipart contract, and that's one aspect of it, is bringing all records pre-1990 available online for search, so people don't have to be in the office to do those searches. And it will be a historical type of search, not something that we're doing with the document that comes over the counter today, but it would be very much like you're looking at the book, but you're doing a logic-based search online, is essentially what it is.
What's the timeline on this, Melissa?
We hope to have it done within 6 months.
Okay, great. I think this will be a nice service for those who use your services.
Yes, I
Great.
think so.
Vote?
Vote on motion 17-587. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Resolution number 17-588, in the matter of approving the First Amendment to the contract between the Delaware County Sheriff, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and Language Line Services Incorporated for providing interpretation and translation services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Major Jeff Balzer with the Sheriff's Office. I'm here this morning to recommend an extension of the contract with the Language Line for telephonic translation services. The current agreement expires on July 1st, and we're asking for an extension of the contract until the end of 2017. I believe Administrator Ahmed is considering adding other county agencies to the contract at that time. Although we've only used translation services a limited amount of time over the past year, it's been a very valuable resource, not just for patrol, but more often for the jail.
That's what I was going to ask you, how you use this most frequently.
Right now, it's been mostly the jail and booking, and I ran a report. The overwhelming uses were for Spanish. We get someone in who doesn't speak any English and they speak Spanish. We call the Language Line, and they help interpret for us. We also have had the other language was Mandarin Chinese. I'm also trying to remind people that we have this, because we've had numerous times where the jail medical staff needs it as well, and our deputies who transport to medical appointments, things like this, need it as well. So I've ordered more little cards to remind people about it, and I'm going to distribute those too.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Good.
All right, vote?
Vote on motion 17-588. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Major.
Resolution number 17-589, in the matter of approving a request for proposals for the Delaware County Emergency Medical Services Master Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Sheehan, Chief of Delaware County EMS. Before you this morning is we're seeking requests for proposals for, and I'll just read this directly from it, evaluating our current delivery service model where we have inefficiencies or efficiencies and further growth throughout the county in the EMS department. We have obviously need to establish a strategic plan, both short-term and long-term, and I would recommend this for your approval. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
What kind of timeline are you looking on this, Mike?
Within the RFP itself, we're looking for around 180 days. The actual timeline to complete the RFP and receive the request, looking towards the end of the month, end of July. I'd like to have that selection process. We're certain, because of the way it's written, we're looking for a specific EMS that's a very narrow group of consultants throughout the United States. So we're pretty confident that we should have that process completed by mid-July to end of July.
Okay. And at the end, we'll have a report that we can...
Yes, sir.
We can
Yes, sir.
learn from?
Again, part of that would be not just a report, but a plan and an implementation solution to anything that would be discovered that would have inefficiencies, both short-term and long-term.
Okay.
And that would also, I think, is something that we've been working on as a county as a whole, is part of fleet management and the ambulances and their uniqueness, and what the emergency vehicles and how long they last here in Delaware versus other places is significantly different because of our maintenance plan and things like that. So getting that evaluated is very important as well.
I don't know how to ask this, so I'll try to be politically correct. The townships to the south that have asked us to look at a different model, so is this going to be looking into not necessarily the relationship, but how we locate our facilities in those areas as well, or is there going to be the areas where we don't have this conflict overlap?
I'm certain that would be taken into consideration as part of this evaluation. I mean, that's a very large portion of the county EMS operations as a whole. But again, as we look at further growth and potential growth in the dead center of the county as well as the northern portions, so all of that's being taken into consideration. It's easy for me to look at it and say, well, this is where we want to need it, but having a third party come in and evaluate that is much more, has a lot more strength and holds a lot more weight to it.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-589. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis? Aye. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right. I want to thank you, too, for Aaron, for the IKEA grand opening. Your team did a great job of leading everyone to the flagpoles and the raising. It was very well done. And
It goes without saying that, there are a few times, I shouldn't say a few times, I am very proud of our department as a whole, but, when Delaware County EMS is requested, on that level, it is pretty remarkable, and I could not be more proud of our people and Assistant Chief Jennings.
yeah, that was
really neat.
very well done. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 17-590, in the matter of approving the public notice invitation to bid for court facility integrated audio, visual, and digital court reporting systems.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. Assembling Architects has been working with the judges and their staff to develop this bid package for the AV, the integrated AV and court recording for the new judicial building. This is setting the bid date and time to put it out to a public bid.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-590. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Resolution number 17-591, in the matter of accepting the sanitary sewer improvements for the courtyards of Bradford Court, Phase 1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. These sewers have been installed, and they have met all of our requirements and also met all the subdividers agreement requirements, so we recommend your approval for their use.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-591. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tiffany.
That brings us to administrative reports.
I have nothing to report today.
All right. We will go with Commissioner Lewis.
Okay. Attended the Emergency Management Executive Committee meeting the other day. Jane talked about branding and how that would affect EMA, how they could piggyback onto our branding, be a part of our branding. And then they also talked about, Linda from the Auditor's Office talked about a new system that they had that EMA could use for its employees. And then we had a DKMM meeting.
Yes.
I'm going to throw that back to you. You can explain what happened.
Okay. We'll hold off on that. I'm guessing Commissioner Merrill has something to talk about with Oklahoma sports from this hat that's on in front of me here. And I'm guessing maybe the ping pong team won the Pac-12, the Big 12 championship or something. So I'll turn it over to Commissioner Merrill.
Well, I thought you were going to talk about it, but I heard you talk about it in my absence the other day. No, I really didn't intend to say anything. I just did that to kind of, but I will let you brought it up. All of these alma maters, University of Oklahoma, and they've had a very successful. Female sports is an area that has changed dramatically over the last 20 years, and I have said many, many times one of my favorite sports to be involved in and watch is women's softball. It is played at such a high level, and the ladies who play that sport at that level are amazing athletes. And yes, Oklahoma won the national championship this week, second in a row, 3 out of the last 5 years. I just throw that in. But the softball games this week did more for women's sports and women's softball specifically than to have a 17-inning ball game that went back and forth, that Oklahoma ultimately won in 5.5 hours. I think the score was 7-5. And the following night, best 2 out of 3, won 5-4. But it did so much for that sport, and it elevated the sport. And so as much as anything, I think it's just a shout-out to the whole women's sports in general, but specifically women's softball. And if you've never been involved with women's softball, you've never watched it at that level, I would encourage you to do so. It is, frankly, I had texts from 3 different people Monday night for a 17-inning ball game around midnight, texting me, and they knew I was at university, and they were watching it. They weren't affiliated with the University of Oklahoma or Florida. If Oklahoma's national champs, Florida is that far behind. I mean, it was 2 exceptional teams playing at an exceptional level. But the point is, people who weren't affiliated with either team, I think, left very impressed with the quality of play. So I thank you for the opportunity to at least throw that in. And I did the cap just to kind of irritate you.
Well, maybe we could have a debate on who wears that after the September football game. Whether you wear it.
We can do that. So I understand you'll wear that or I'll wear the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
I got you.
Oklahoma is having a hard time keeping football coaches these days, but
I get 15 years to change coaches. That's pretty good. And I'm not going to mention the other sports that won national championships in the last 2 months. But you can if you want. There's 5 of them. But moving on, I think there's a lot been going on in our county, and I'll let Commissioner Benton talk about DKM, as Barb alluded to. And I attended the 911 board meeting Tuesday. Went well. Everything. Our 911, we do such a fantastic job. And we are really, what a great management team we have in 911 and the job they're doing. And I think that's shared by everybody involved in the board throughout the county, the job that Patrick is doing in that area. Just a word of information. We did the Morpsey tour last week. There's a follow-up tour, and I'm on the executive committee, so there's some assumption that I'll be attending, but there's one in Ross County on July 6th, and of course it would be on Thursday. So I'm debating whether I'll go out after the meeting, drive down to Chillicothe, enjoy them at lunch, or miss our meeting that day. It'll be somewhat a function of what's on our agenda, but if we can lighten the load that day, then I likely will be there all day. If not, then I'll leave after the meeting. So
we could have a sports
July 6th.
discussion maybe that day. Don't
What's
you
that?
think? We could have a little sports discussion that day.
talk about Ohio State's football championships.
Yeah, then, yeah. We'll have to make a note of that. Yeah. You go ahead, though. Go ahead. Don't worry.
That's all I have.
All right. You're a good sport. We appreciate
I think you do a good sport when you're winning, right?
All right. While we're on Morpsey, the tour I thought was very good. I think the Morpsey people were pleasantly surprised by just everything that's going on in Delaware County, and they actually handed out some of the project profiles that they're promoting for to get funding federally, and 4 of our projects are on that list: the Big Walnut Interchange and a few others. Sunbury Parkway, Delaware Point, and the Central Allen Creek wastewater plant were in their top list. I don't know if that's exactly a top 10 at this point, but one of their top lists is listing a number of very important projects that we have started in Delaware County. So I think they're aware of it, and our work with them has been productive and so on. And we do have a meeting today, just our regular monthly meeting from Morpsey. Got to talk about the IKEA grand opening. That was just a really special event. It was a lot of fun. As I mentioned before, our EMS team were the honor guards for the flag raisings. The American flag was raised, the Swedish flag was raised, and the state of Ohio flag was raised. And it was just really neat. Crowds were very good, but, very energetic, but certainly no issues. It was very professionally done. IKEA really knows what they're doing. This is their 44th U.S. store. And it was just a lot of fun. So they gave away 44 couches to people who camped out for 2 days.
So did you get one?
I did not get one. I did not want to camp out for 2 days. But the crowds were very good. The traffic was not bad at all. I think everybody was surprised by that. They had police at virtually every intersection in the area, and they were just sitting in their cars. I mean, there were no backups at all. Crowd was very well behaved and very enthusiastic. The employees are very positive. They had a welcome for all the people who had been standing in line, and they just did it right. IKEA really knows what they're doing, and we're delighted to have them in the community. Let's see. Oh, they had a number of very good speakers. They had really good entertainment there. The Buckeye Guy was there. The Ohio State Marching Band had a small group there, and the drum major, and jugglers, and unicyclists, and a band, and it was just a lot of fun.
How many people do you think were waiting in line?
500 or 600, I would guess.
Okay, wow.
I think they were expecting more. That was certainly a lot of people, but again, very well done. I do have a bumper sticker that I would be willing to sell to anybody who wants to buy it. That says, "I break for Swedish meatballs." So
We could give that to Rick Carfano.
maybe Rick would want that. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. Very happy to have them in our community. Last topic is DKMM. We did meet with the DKMM board in a special meeting Tuesday, I guess it was, and we had a very productive meeting. We're really wrestling with the strategic direction for DKMM. They primarily do recycling work, and there are issues there on what direction to go, because there are fewer vendors interested in that business, and there are different alternatives we're exploring, and we want to obviously continue to provide that service at a reasonable cost. So we're looking at a number of different alternatives and continue to work on that. And that's it for that. And I guess we do need to have an executive session.
Yes.
For a couple things.
Resolution number 17-592, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation.
Second?
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 17-592. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right, we're in executive session.
Take Jacob first.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.